Hello, hi, how are you? I hope you're good. Today I'm here for another short story review. Today we're going to be discussing the second short story in If It Bleeds by Stephen King. The story is The Life of Chuck, and The Life of Chuck I just finished reading about 10-15 minutes ago, and then I just had to sit down and talk about, my feelings with it. I'm gonna try to be as concise and spoiler-free as I possibly can, but we'll see. This story, it really will leave you thinking. This is something I'm going to either reread a lot later in life, or it's just going to be on my mind for the coming months, because it's just one of those stories that it talks about so many different things and it hits you in so many different ways. You feel so many things while you read this story. The good, the bad, the ugly, happy, joy, sadness, everything is kind of somehow compacted in this really strange short story. And I can see a lot of people maybe possibly not liking it because it is very weird, but honestly I thought it was just so beautiful and gorgeous. Stephen King knows how to write characters so well. He knows how to really, fall in love with characters and just to see the beautiful moments of life in his stories. And okay, so the story is told in two parts almost. The first part is very apocalyptic, end of the world scenario. We follow these characters as the end of days is coming. Basically, the internet goes out, California goes into the water, it's gone, and these characters are basically not sure what's going on, but at the end of the day the world ends, and then that's that. It's strange because we follow that, but then there's also another storyline that comes right after that follows Chuck, our main character, and it's told in a reverse format. It's told from the end to the beginning. So it's a very strange format, but I also think that it's really interesting because it kind of reminded me of The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. If you've ever read the story, it's about a man who's born very old and then he ages younger, and I think that it reminds me of that because of the format of the story. It's told from the end to the beginning, and it's just a unique format that I really enjoy. So this story is kind of like that, but we follow Chuck as he's about to die and pass away. I think there's maybe possibly a brain tumor. I don't know exactly what was wrong with him, but he's about to pass away, and he's not that old. He's very young. He's only 39, and we follow snapshots of his life as he progressively gets younger, and it's so beautiful because you just get introduced to this character, but you see little snapshots of just everyday life and small moments that really mean a lot to this character. It's such an interesting read because we start off knowing this character dies. You don't really have a lot of ties connected to him, so it's just, oh, this character dies, but as the story goes on and we learn more about him as he gets younger, you get more attached to him. And then I think as the story goes on and as we see these heartwarming moments of his life, you as well will get really sad because you're seeing where he came from and what has gone on within his life, and you just know that, oh, this character died so young, and I'm reading about his childhood and everything, and it's just such a beautiful story. And I'm gonna go into spoilers now, so if you don't want to be spoiled, go away for a little bit, please. But so what's interesting about this story is that we see that he kind of knew that he was gonna die at a certain point in time. He kind of saw his death, so he knew from that moment when he was really young not to take life for granted, and so he lived his life to the fullest from that point on. And I think that was so gorgeous and done so well. And towards the end of this book, it kind of got me teary-eyed a little bit because this is just one of those beautiful Stephen King stories that really just, lets you know, hey, don't take your life for granted, live it to the fullest, and just enjoy it. And I think the coolest thing about this book is that these two timelines really connect, because I think that the beginning of this was Chuck's world ending, basically. His whole universe is ending, and that's kind of what the beginning of the story was. It wasn't necessarily like, oh, the actual world's ending, it's Chuck's universe that's ending. So that's the way I took it. I don't know if that's actually how it was written, but there's different interpretations that you could take, I'm guessing, but I'm pretty sure that's probably what was going on. It was just Chuck's universe was ending as a whole in the beginning, and then we follow him as we get to know his life, and it was just so good. And I don't know what else to say. This is just my initial reactions, but it was really good, and I loved it so much more than the first story, even though I enjoyed that one a lot. I'm so excited to continue on with this collection. I think if you're someone that doesn't like scary stories, you should really pick this one up because there's not a whole lot of scary going on so far. It's more just interesting. It's just really interesting, and I'm enjoying this book. So I will be back next week to discuss the next story, and if you haven't seen my discussion on the first book, I'll link that down below. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day or night wherever you are, and I will see you later.